At 2:14 a.m., every single phone in the city went off at once. It wasn't a weather alert. It wasn't an Amber Alert. It was just one chilling sentence. This message is not for everyone. And then, my phone vibrated again. I was lying in bed, hovering in that weird space between dream and reality, when the alert tone hit. You know that harsh, metallic sound? The one that instantly puts you on edge. The sound you just never get used to. My heart felt like it jumped into my throat. The first message was still on the screen, but then it repeated itself, this time followed by a string of coordinates. My blood ran cold. They weren't random. They were my address. My exact address. My first instinct was to jump onto social media, to see if this was some kind of citywide prank or a massive system failure. And sure enough, feeds were blowing up. Everyone had gotten the first alert. This message is not for everyone. The whole city was in a panic, confused, trying to figure out what was happening. But as I scrolled through post after post, a horrifying realization started to sink in. No one else was talking about a second message. No one else had gotten coordinates. That part, it seemed, was just for me. Just as that thought fully formed, my phone buzzed again. A third alert lighting up the darkness of my room. We see you awake. My bedroom light flickered once, then twice, before going out completely. I was plunged into total darkness, with only the glow of my phone screen to see by. And then, the camera app opened all by itself. Front-facing, my own terrified face stared back at me. For a split second, I thought it was just my reflection, a glitch in the system. But then I realized the camera angle was all wrong. It wasn't looking at me from my hands. It was looking down at me, from somewhere near the ceiling. My breath caught in my chest. Another alert ripped through the silence. This one more of a command than a notification. Do not look behind you. My mind screamed at me to listen, to just freeze and stare at my phone. But you know how it is. That morbid curiosity, that primal need to know. I did it anyway. I whipped my head around. Nothing. Just the familiar shadows of my room. But when I looked back at my phone, the screen showed something else. Something was standing at the foot of my bed. Tall. Impossibly tall. And distorted. Like a human silhouette, stretched too far. Its limbs, thin and unnatural. The alert tones screamed again. A piercing, continuous shriek that made my ears ring. IT knows you can see IT. Suddenly, as quickly as it all began, it stopped. The alerts, the screaming tone, everything. My phone screen went black and it shut off completely. It wouldn't turn back on. I spent the rest of the night huddled under my covers, wide awake, listening to every creak and groan of the house until the sun finally started to rise. Morning came like nothing had happened. The power was back on. The world outside was normal. I almost convinced myself I had dreamt the whole thing, a vivid nightmare brought on by stress, until I turned on the news. The top story was about the emergency alert system. Apparently, it had malfunctioned overnight, sending a citywide test alert that was never supposed to contain any text. The official report was clear. It was a blank message. No coordinates. No second message. No terrifying follow-ups. It was a simple glitch. Except, my phone history still showed them. Every single one. The next night, I dreaded the clock ticking past midnight. I tried to stay awake, but exhaustion eventually won. At exactly 2:14 a.m., I was jolted awake. Not by a sound, not by an alert tone. My phone, sitting on the nightstand, just vibrated once. I reached for it with a trembling hand. There on the lock screen was a single notification. A new message. It said, "Thank you for confirming visual contact.